As held in the case of Canlas versus Tubil, possession by tolerance falls under unlawful detainer, not forcible entry, because it is a possession that was initially lawful but later became unlawful when the possessor by tolerance refuses to comply with the owner's demand to vacate. Thus, in the case of Viuda de Preto, the reckoning point for actions for forcible entry through stealth should be the date of the discovery of the entry, not the date of the demand to vacate. Unfortunately, this error was replicated in subsequent cases, including the case of Philippine Overseas Telecommunications. Nonetheless, subsequent cases have already clarified the rules on forcible entry. In Spouses Barnakea versus Court of Appeals, this court ruled that in forcible entry suits, the law does not require a previous demand to vacate the premises. So no previous demand to vacate the premises required, and the action can be brought only within 1 year from the date the defendant actually and illegally entered the property. In the case of De La Cruz, this court held that the prescriptive period in a forcible entry case is generally counted from the date of actual entry into the land, except when this entry was made through stealth, in which case the period is reckoned from the time of discovery. Similarly, in Diaz versus Spouses Punzalan, in an action for forcible entry, the following requisites are essential for the MTC to acquire jurisdiction over the case. The plaintiff must allege prior physical possession over the property. The plaintiff must allege and prove that he or she was deprived of possession by force, intimidation, threat, strategy, or stealth. Third, the action must be filed within 1 year from the date of actual entry on the land, except when the entry is through stealth. Then the 1 year period is counted from the time the plaintiff owner or legal possessor learned of the deprivation of the physical possession of the property. It is not necessary, however, for the complaint to expressly use the exact language of the law, for so long as it is shown that the dispossession took place under said conditions, it is considered as sufficient compliance with the requirements. The 1 year prescriptive period is a jurisdictional requirement consistent with the summary nature of ejectment suits. In the case of Sarona versus Villegas, this court made a distinction between unlawful detainer and forcible entry in discussing the implication of the 1 year prescriptive period for forcible entry cases. It stated, first, forcible entry into the land is an open challenge to the right of the possessor. Violation of that right authorizes the speedy redress in the inferior court provided for in the rules. If 1 year from the forcible entry is allowed to lapse before suit is filed, then the remedy ceases to be speedy and the possessor is deemed to have waived his right to seek relief in the inferior court kung magdugay-dugay ka. Second, if a forcible entry action in the inferior court is allowed after the lapse of a number of years, then the result may well be that no action of forcible entry can really prescribe. No matter how long such defendant is in physical possession, plaintiff will merely make a demand, bring suit in the inferior court upon a plea of tolerance to prevent prescription to set in, and summarily throw him out of the land. Such a conclusion is unreasonable, especially if we bear in mind the postulates that proceedings of forcible entry and unlawful detainer are summary in nature, and that the 1 year time bar to the suit is but in pursuance of the summary nature of the action. Here, a review of the respondent's own narration of facts reveals that it discovered the underground cables and lines in April 2003 when it applied for exemption from the parking slot requirement with the Cebu City Zoning Board. Respondent's complaint is telling as the causes of action. In its honest effort to remedy the situation and in order to immediately start its construction of the building, without removing defendant's underground telephone lines, cables, and manholes, the plaintiff had applied for exemption of the required number of parking slots but was denied. So this was the This is contained in the allegation of the respondent's complaint. So XYZ Appliances complaint. Counting from this date, the 1-year prescriptive period to file the forcible entry suit had already lapsed sometime in April 2004. Thus, by the time the complaint for forcible entry was filed on October 1, 2004, the municipal trial court in cities, therefore, no longer had jurisdiction to resolve this case. So that is the ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court in this case with respect to the issue whether or not the case was filed after the last day, after the expiry, or after or beyond the 1-year time bar or the 1-year prescriptive period. So the answer to that in this case by the Honorable Supreme Court is in the affirmative, that it was filed beyond the 1-year prescriptive period. So there is another part of this decision with respect to eminent domain, and I will read this to you in the next episode. As usual, if you are new to my channel, please send links, latest updates, 2025, gov.ph websites, these topics only, or at least near these topics. Yuta-yuta lang ba? Real estate. No other topics. And this is our co-learning channel. So this is our advocacy by sending us links, updates to the latest cases, rules, regulations, IRR, circulars. You will help me, help you, help us all to learn how to avoid land disputes. And it will also help us choose the means, peaceful ways, and peaceful endings when any of us will become part or is already part of a land dispute. So you have my email, WhatsApp, and Viber link, gov.ph websites, latest updates 2025. Okay, so that I can share it to you. So I'll see you in the next episode.